when it comes to investing in leadership development, now, whether that's time, that's either time, money, or resources, and they're all really resources.
Yeah.
Okay, what criteria do you consider when determining sort of the value of the course? Now, that may be money.
Yep.
That may be opportunity costs, that may be time, but what would you use as the metrics to determine the value of a course?
So interesting enough, I go back to that statistic that I shared with you, just on my previous question around 82% of employees consider quitting their jobs because of their boss or their manager. And that right there, like having to replace that many people, whether they leave or not, if they're still not plugged in, if they are not feeling the support from their leadership, they're still not plugged in. They're not producing at the level that they could be producing. And so the amount of money that is costing your organization right there, I mean, it's huge. It's huge. And so for me to like be able to take some time and put your people through some leadership training, that right there, I don't even know that you could put a cost around it, because it will save so much on the other side of having employees who are actually engaged in the organization and they don't leave, and you don't have to rehire and keep rehiring and rehiring and retraining and retraining.
Right.
Instead, you just start from the very beginning with good, strong leaders who actually keep people in place.
Yeah, well, it's something that I play with words a lot, and to try to make things clear, it was like attract, find, filter, foster, and retain are sort of the words that are coming to me, or that have come to me over time in adjusting my marketing and my communication for this thing. And while you were talking about it, I was thinking about Gallup, like 68% of people are either neither engaged or disengaged or actively disengaged. That's way too much. Another thing that popped up was some calculations by consultancies in that say it's 50%, the cost of replacing an experienced employee is 50 to 100% of their yearly wage.
Yeah.
So if you want some numbers, there they are. And something that Amazon does, and they're far from famous for being great in terms of treating their employees well.
Yeah.
Even they, because they, as far as I'm concerned, almost entirely care about making money, not their culture and how they treat people. I know that's a polarizing position. Bottom line is, even when you're only greedy, they have valued, when I last looked, and this comes from Cialdini's most recent version of Influence. Great. If you've read the first one, throw it out, get the new one, because it's that much better. And I rarely say that. It's like, oh, it's an update. It's better. But it's fantastically better.
Awesome.
And rather longer. He talked about how Amazon once a year will say, look, I will pay you. Marcee, how are you feeling about your job? Oh, it's okay. What if I gave you $5,000 right now to quit?
Wow.
Full stop. So what they've done is they've looked at it, and even though that number is much smaller, which is not surprising given the culture there about frugality, even the cheapskate, fairly exploitive organization is saying it's worth at least $5,000 to have you leave because of all the money it saves, because all the lost value and discretionary time and effort you will not give us if you're significantly unhappy.
Wow.
And that's on the extreme low end from a company who calculates everything. So if they calculate everything, they're saying it's at least worth 5,000, and it's probably worth 5 or 10 times that to just pay people to leave, rather than, it's like the idea, right? What is worse, having somebody get upset and quit, or stay upset and stay? The cost to your company of retaining undesirable retention of employees, or failing to have desirable turnover, is, as you said, pretty much incalculable.
Yeah, so. I love that. So good.
Next one is, when it comes to investing in leadership development, what criteria, this seems like the same question to me, but let me read it back again anyway. What criteria do you consider when determining, oh, excuse me, I just didn't write any notes. I was too busy listening, and it's like your answer was incalculable, but valuable. Okay, next one.